about ready to go. Again, it is going to be Team BDS versus Alliance. As this, we're going to get a whole new, this is so cool, man. I was looking at it before we started. There's a whole new package right now that you're about to see on your screens here. There it is. Looks beautiful. And it looks like we are going to start out on Follow 8, which, interestingly enough, I do think that this, this is kind of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the earliest map in the campaign that these players are going to play, right? And this map is very much full speed. I mean, you kind of saw it there in the warm-up.
Full speed, indeed. It's a good example of the NASCAR mapping style. You see right off the bat as both teams are just running as close as humanly possible to the wall. This mapping style is all about maintaining speed. You usually don't want to drift, but specifically on 08, there is this situation where you get into a single drift, and then that chicane right there that we just passed is all about maintaining as much momentum as possible with a release. Wow, what a fantastic round to open this competition. Aurel a single millisecond behind Mutta.
Yeah, and I mean, Aurel as well has the fastest time of all of the pros we're going to be watching here today coming into this track. So not surprised to see him at the front, but you're also contending with the current TMGL champion in Mutta on the other side of the track here. As you can see, Soldier's going to try to make a run off. He's got the lead. It's very tight. Again, this map is very much full speed. Any kind of release needs to be short. Afi's going to lead the way through. Soldier will follow up just a few hundredths behind. And again, this is kind of going to be going back and forth, very similar to this this kind of point style. You're going to have to get used to it. It's a bit new. But obviously, same rule applies. Finish ahead of your opponents, get more points.
Exactly. Whatever the format may be, get to that finish line before just win, forehead. What's that? Is right, that thing exactly. That Jorby says? Like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the format is. Just win. Just do better than everybody else. Offie screaming through that chicane section, going toe to toe there with Mutta, taking the lead. Mutta is going to fall back just about by half a tenth, taking P2, a full tenth eventually. Soldier P3. Aurel following up in P4. The draw still maintains a single point lead for Team BDS.
And so the draw there happened because Team BDS went 1-4 essentially. So you kind of split the points between the players, and then obviously split the points between the teams. So we also didn't get to mention all of our competitions today are going to be best of 7. So each map, it's you're playing first to 10 points, win 4 maps, you win this matchup. As we're going to see Afi leading Mutta and Aurel through. Soldier will follow up in 4th place. That's going to be another victory for Team BDS. And now things are looking a little bit desperate here for Alliance to start things out.
Only a 2-point swing, though. They definitely have plenty of time to claw this back. You will see at the top of your screen as well, it does say first to 10. So BDS, yes, technically a little bit closer, but Alliance most certainly has the quality to be able to pull this back. Man, there is nothing better than seeing all 4 cars like within each other's ghost. That's how you know this competition is super close. Mutta climbing out to a late lead. Aurel P2, Soldier P3. That should be the points going Alliance's way. 7-6 to Team BDS. Still with that point lead. 1 more point to that 10 total that they're looking for. But Alliance is clawing it back just every once in a while.
And it is track point. You can get a grand total of 3 points. So Team BDS can win this if they come 1-2 in the finish here. As Mutta is going to lead the way. He's going to try to deny Alliance taking the victory on this map, but he goes just a bit too far inside. He's able to recover it quite well. It looked like it was Afi who was going to take his place. Aurel's going to fall back to 4th, and that's going to be another Alliance win. We are tied at 8. Here in map number 1, it's going to come down to these last couple of rounds.
Dive right down to the booster right off the bat. Get as much speed as you possibly can. Hold that tight to the wall. This is all about who is going to take the most amount of risk throughout this entire track. Dive as close down to the inside as possible. Was that falling back? I think that may have been
Aurel.
It was Aurel. Soldier Mutta holding down the midfield here. You see Offie in a relatively commanding lead. He's not going to give this one up. This should be another draw due to the finishing order. 9-9 hunted. I don't think we could have asked for possibly having a closer opening round. What a perfect example of what the excitement that TMGL can provide.
Oh. Absolutely, and I'm not entirely sure what happens if we hit 10. I don't know what the format will do, so it's kind of new to the both of us. We'll see what happens. Right now, the players are thinking just get to the finish before your opponents, and it's got to be Mutta to take the lead. Offie's going to try to catch him, but all eyes need to be on Aurel. He's got to catch Soldier, or this is going to be an Alliance victory. They're coming down to the finish. It's 1-3 for Alliance. They claw their way back in this map, and they take the dub in map 1, 11-10 against Team BDS. And that is going to be the first on the board and the first victory of the TM World Tour here for Team Alliance.
A, that was amazing. B, guys, what about these new graphics? Are you seeing this?
That's awesome.
This is the first time we've ever gotten to see this. This is such a fantastic, clean-looking design. Super easy to see what's going on. I'm in love with this, and if this is what we have to look forward to for the entire coming season starting in January, man, I'm here for it. Ladies and gentlemen, we get started with the warm-up on 23, with the first black track making its appearance here for the TM World Tour Showdown.
And this map is one that I think Team BDS might be a little bit outclassed. We have the current world record holder in Mutta, and Soldier fourth on the global leaderboard on this track as well. So the two Alliance teammates certainly have put in the time and effort, but they are going to start behind the two Frenchmen. Offie and Aurel going to take an early lead here in round 1. This track definitely a little bit longer than 08, so a little bit more to think about, but again, Mutta so clean through the grass there. He's going to take the lead.
Just barely, though. Soldier fighting with Offie. Mutta does sneak ahead a little bit better, though. Offie fighting behind as Soldier tries to make up that ground lost to his teammate. You want that ace. You want that P1 and 2 at the end of the day, because that solidifies your points earnings throughout this entire thing. Aurel, that was Aurel and Soldier making a mistake, losing a ton of ground. Offie trying to catch up to Mutta. This could be a draw. Soldier does get overtaken. Not quite. Aurel.
He respawned.
He was tied for a split second. He never actually crossed the finish. Very, very close there. Aurel will come home in P4. That will give the opening points here to Mutta and Soldier for Alliance, but Team BDS do wind up clawing one back due purely to the fact that they finished P2 and 4.
And the live ranking debated me, but it's cool that you can see the little flags next to it. I don't know if you noticed that. There's like the little flags that'll pop out when the player finishes.
Yes.
And I guess if he respawns, that's interesting. Okay, well, very cool. And again, folks, these are brand new to both of us as well. So
yeah,
we are learning in real time with you all as well, and that's what makes this so much fun for us in the booth, certainly. And right now, it is going to be Soldier and Mutta leading the way. Soldier kind of playing second fiddle a little bit to Mutta in that first map, but he is going to take an early lead here in round number 2. It's going to be a lot of work for Offie and Aurel to try to catch up. In this map, Leechy, very interesting. It's really the first time we see a full ice loop, which can cause players a lot of trouble, though these players are certainly good enough to navigate it.
Definitely. There's a very specific technique that you need to enter that ice loop around that right side, right when it starts banking up into the loop section itself. But you need to make sure that you're prepared for how that curved wall is going to throw the car into a turn. That ace there from Alliance, a crucial 3 points there, and probably even more crucially, Team BDS not able to get a single point. That is how devastating a round domination can be. BDS are going to have to pick themselves up a little bit throughout the rest of this map.
Yeah, so now we've officially seen all of the scoring possibilities, right? You can get an ace, that's 3 points for your team. you can come 1 and 3, get 2 points, the other team gets 1. You can get 1 and 4, you draw, both teams get a point, or you could be 3 and 4 and you get nothing, the other team gets 3. So that's essentially how it works. We didn't have time to break it all down at the beginning, but now that we've seen the example of it, it's pretty straightforward. Again, it's different. You're going to have to get used to it, but I love this format. And right now, the Frenchmen are certainly loving their positions. They've got 1 and 2 locked down, looking for an ace to counter. But Aurel, he is crazy on that loop. Soldier's going to overtake, and that's the ice loop. That's where it can cause problems. Mutta is a bit too far back, and it is going to be Soldier just sniping second by a couple of hundredths there. That will be a victory for Team BDS, but Alliance, they mitigate the damage there.
God, Aurel, I swear Aurel was so close to turning that into an ace as well. You saw Soldier was definitely ahead confidently, but needed to release a little bit with that ice sight to correct his line, and that completely killed all the momentum he had. So close, nail-biting stuff. Alliance still with double the points of their Team BDS competitors. Let's see how the rest of this run goes. You need to dive down as close as possible, ideally, to that little gap in that grass. Come up, take that wall ride nice and high. Don't drop out of fourth gear. Offie and Soldier right now in P1 and 2 respectively. They head up into this plastic wall ride. Cut this down as close as possible, and then again, get onto that wall on the left, go to the right, and then immediately flick the car left to deal with what I was saying before, where how that wall wants to toss you. Ooh, Soldier, not a good lineup. Gets tossed over here. Now Mutta fighting Offie up front. Who is going to pull this away? Mutta just a little bit too far back. Needs to rely on an Offie mistake. Offie's way too good to let that happen. P1 and 3 for BDS. Yet again, clawing back a little bit of that disadvantage to Alliance.
Yeah, really well done. Offie, the only Swiss player here in the TMGL. Victory. He will pull out the 2 points for Team BDS. Talk about Team Alliance, too. You know, there was a lot of speculation coming in on who would go where, right? I mean, Mutta, you know, famously without a team winning the entire TMGL, right? And, you know, finding a home, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Alliance is a Swedish organization. Obviously, Mutta is Australian, and Soldier is Belgian, excuse me. So, a nice mix of nationality there, but so far so good for Mutta and Soldier. They've got this 2-point lead, and they are taking second and third here. Soldier is going to challenge Offie up front. Mutta not too far behind. This loop is going to be crucial. That's really well done from Soldier. Look at the speed coming out of that loop. Offie's got to try to track him down. Aurel, in the meantime, making way on Mutta, but is it going to be enough? Soldier's going to lead them through the final ice slide, and he will just cross in front. Mutta takes third, and that's 2 points to Alliance, a point away from victory.
God, that
I believe that is victory, isn't it? Does that? Oh, no, I guess because you can get no points. Excuse me.
Exactly,
sorry, yeah.
Exactly. We're close. Alliance, effectively, Alliance can afford to finish P2 and 4 here because all they need is that single point. So they have set themselves up well for long-term success, I guess you could call, and go 2-0 up in the series. But they have this final run to make it through. Mutta, temporary lead here with Soldier in P2. So right now locking down those top 2 spots that they need. But you can never count anybody out. Mistakes could happen, especially on these black tracks, which are the most difficult ones in the fall campaign. Mistakes can happen pretty much anywhere, and you will have seen all of these pros putting it through a lot of practice on stream here. Aurel falling back. Offie surely way too far to make this up. Soldier and Mutta here coming through basically for a victory lap, completely unchallenged. That will be map 2, going the way of Alliance to take the 2-0 lead in this opening series.
Yeah, they were holding hands going through the final.
Exactly.
Through the finish.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it's very cute. Teammates through and through. But Alliance, as you said, taking map number 2. We will head into map 3. Team BDS having to play a little bit of catch up here. I'm not quite sure which map. It does look like 20 is next on the. I knew you were gonna be excited. I think this is your favorite map, and certainly an interesting one. Mime, the current world record holder, obviously not playing in this match, but he is out there, I'm sure, watching this one as he waits for his group to start up. He is in Group B, into the breach. But our first look at a dirt track, that this one is very interesting. Tell me why. Why do you like this map so much?
It's got to do with the flow, honestly, and it's got a very unique flow to it. It's got, excuse me, it's got very high pace sections, but as we see, how about this? We'll do the we'll do the F1 kind of walk through this map. I love right here where you need to throw yourself up as close to the wall as possible. Then you instantly have this super tiny gap to shoot the car through, and then right here, the zoop feature through the penalty sand. The more airtime you get, the more acceleration you're gonna get. Solja and Mutta clearly getting the better of that situation. Offie Aurel floundering in P4, Offie back in P3. It's very high-speed dirt drift here, and then you need to keep as much speed as possible through the penalty sand. Yet again, another one of those situations where you ride up very close to the wall, and then a bunch of super turbos to have a super fun finish to the end. That is the very early ace for Solja and Mutta. 3 points for Alliance, taking a commanding lead in map number 3.
What was that, a 40? Was that a 45-8?
It may have been. I
honestly,
I was so excited about map 20 that I missed the time.
Yeah, I think that was a 45-8 from Solja there to start things off. That's less than 2/10 outside of his PB, so certainly driving well right now is Solja. Mutta, certainly keeping right there on pace, but Aurel this time around going to be fighting for the lead. I think my favorite part of the track is right here, where you get all this speed. You can see Mutta carrying it well. Aurel's going to try to track him down. Solja, not quite as much speed coming out. Got to minimize your time on the penalty sand here. Solja's going to overtake. Can he keep P2? It looks like he should.
Wow.
And this is another ace for Alliance.
Very strong start to this map. This is clearly, I don't know if this is Alliance putting in a ton of practice or maybe BDS not putting in enough practice, but you saw Offie, an unfortunate mistake very early on, put him 10 seconds out of contention. And now BDS have it all to do, and Alliance can afford, yet again, they've given themselves a ridiculous point cushion where, yeah, maybe prevent the ace, but they can afford to draw multiple times and lose rounds, simply finishing 2 and 4 every single time. And BDS will only be able to slightly chip away at that point lead. This is exactly how you want to start out some of these maps.
And they could take a break, man. They could get some water. They could, sit out around at this point. And they're looking to extend this to 9-0 to kick off this map. Mutta and Solja 1 and 2 as they are coming down. Mutta a little bit slower than he probably would like here. He just needs to make it into the boosters, and he will. He will take P1. Solja 500ths behind him in P2. And now things looking very bleak for Team BDS. It essentially turns into a reverse sweep situation here, as they need to have 3 aces of their own to bring this back level. But for Alliance, I mean, talk about domination on 20 right now.
Is it too early to call this already? Like, I feel
Dude,
like
I'm not caster cursing it. You can be the caster curse if you want.
Okay, I'll take that bullet. I don't know, man. 9-0, and from the performances that we've seen from both Aurel and Offie so far on 20, I mean, they literally need an ace every single time to prevent Alliance from taking this.
Think about it for Alliance. As long as one of your players finishes second in the next 4 rounds, you win.
Well,
that's it.
Sure, fair. I subscribe to your pamphlet here, but trying to make him that person that is going to finish.
This is really close.
P2. Oh my God! Nobody touched the wall, and that is done and dusted. Mutta will actually snipe first by 7 thousandths.
No.
Man, rubbing salt in the wound. 11-1. Alliance falling asleep and still managing to take map 20 as easy as you like. That one was a little bit rougher for BDS. We'll see what happens as we wait for map 4 to load. It's gonna be 18, an interesting choice for map number 4.
Another dirt track, man. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is where you want to be if you're Team BDS. Again, both players for Team Alliance in the top 10 globally on this map. Mud in third, Soldier in eighth as we start the warm-up here. Do have to say I'm a little bit salty, Leechy. We didn't see the perfect sweep. It was 11-1.
Yes, it was 11-1.
We have to wait.
I'm sure. I guess what the perfect sweep would be 12-0.
12-0,
right?
I guess. Yeah.
4 aces in a row. All right, so we'll wait. It's a long season, and it's a long season. It's a long day and a long weekend ahead of us. So I'm sure there will be plenty of time to see ridiculous point margins between any two teams that we're watching. This track is interesting. I know that it brings about a lot of frustration from your typical community members, because most people, when it comes to dirt tech maps, most people are used to fourth gear dirt. So you're kind of spending a lot of time in the low rev ranges of fourth gear, trying not to drop down into third. This map, you only grab fourth gear 3 times throughout an entire run, so it's a rarely seen third gear dirt map where there's still a flow to it, but it's a significantly tighter flow than a lot of players are used to, and it's something that all these TMGL players are, definitely well practiced enough to do well, but it's definitely a jarring style if you're not quite used to it. Alliance with another early ace signaling their intentions to put this series to bed very early on.
Well, and again, not to mention the fact that this is you're in the low gears, you're in third gear pretty much for the majority of the map, but that also leads to some interesting interactions, right? You've got a lot of tighter turns, but a lot of no sliding as well, right? I mean, you're below the threshold that you need to be at for the drifting to make sense, and there's not as much, there's in dirt, especially long dirt tracks like this, there's a lot of SDs or what have you that can kind of build you time, and if anybody knows about that, it's certainly our leader right here in Mutta, as he's leading Soldier by a couple of hundredths right now. But yeah, really interesting track, definitely a lot of fun. Glad to see him picking this one as Soldier tries to overtake his teammate. He is going to make this move stick, and it does look like it is going to be a 1-2 Soldier, Mutta, Afi, Aurel, and a 6-0 lead now on match point, by the way, for Team Alliance, as it's all to do now for Team BDS.
Yeah, I think that this is probably just a sign of a Team BDS that's taking a little bit longer to warm up to new maps compared to Alliance, where Alliance seemed to be able to hit the ground running a lot sooner. And with how many points are available on an ace, that's definitely a valuable strat here. So Aurel and Afi yet again finding themselves behind here as they come through this first section of dirt turns. They get the turbo there. Don't turn too far to the right, because there is a wall waiting for you to disappoint you there. This jump up here, a lot of people will kind of dive down and let the wheels touch early, the front wheels touch early to get themselves the acceleration. Very low speed here, and all of a sudden we see BDS taking the lead, using those speed wiggles to kind of give themselves that tiny speed advantage through the dirt.
Else?
They're looking pretty good. Mutta, however, catching up, hunting here in the back, but Aurel and Afi, actually, this is looking like a pretty comfortable lead. Could they find an ace here unless Mutta is able to find some magic through this final complicated section? Oh, look at the speed. Mutta looking to snipe so very close, but Aurel and Afi will get their first ace of this entire series and are able to pull back some very much needed points against their opponents.
Crucial points, but Mutta certainly made him sweat it out there. Few hundredths behind at the finish. And I think we kind of expected that, right? I think we kind of expect, these players are playing on, let's be honest, these maps are not as difficult as the World Tour maps, not by a long shot. So, there's going to be less separation, there's going to be less mistakes. Also, can I mention as well, I'm watching Soldier on my view right now. I love this, just the little details in the driver, like this Belgian driver helmet is so cool.
It looks awesome. Yeah, it's one more way to add that kind of national flair to your player here. Afi now attempting to lead the line for BDS. Soldier going a little bit wide and will get punished for that. In fact, Afi using a no slide there excellently to get some speed back, has a slightly better
Oh,
line
Soldier,
compared
no.
to Mutta, and Afi
Wow.
will take that one. Very much needed points yet again, still allowing a single point for Alliance, but those are the kinds of performances that BDS need to be able to get themselves back in contention for this match. May I remind you, they have yet to win a single map. This is their final shot, so they need to show up right here.
I didn't see what happened to Mutta. He was there towards the finish. Oh, that's a wall tap there from Soldier, I believe. And it is going to be Mutta to lead the pack. Afi, however, not a good start for him either. He's currently chilling in fourth, but he does have a ton of speed up and over that hill as Aurel going to start to fall back into the grasp of Soldier. Mutta looks like he's going to run away with this round. If you are Team BDS, your eyes are set on that Belgian car between you, though it does look like Soldier going to be battling back. Afi again, not the greatest section. Soldier a little bit more speed than Aurel through there, and he's going to take second for the moment. And all the way to the line, it's 1-2 again for Alliance, and that will do it. That is the map, and that is the match for Team Alliance over Team BDS.
So very close. Well played from Alliance.